According to a new report in Variety, more than half of Gen Z consumers practice churning when it comes to their streaming services, a behavior where you subscribe to a service for a single high profile title like a movie or a television series or whatever, and then immediately cancel once they finish that movie or that season of television. Now, this one show mentality has contributed to a volatile streaming landscape, with overall churn rates sitting at approximately 41% and climbing as high as 52% among millennials. The trend is largely driven by rising subscription costs and a lack of perceived value in permanent libraries on these streamers, as younger audiences increasingly view streaming services as kind of like a utility-like tool to be toggled on and off rather than having a long-term commitment to it. Now, in a surprising contrast to their digital-first reputation, Gen Z has also emerged as the most active demographic in going to the movie theaters, revitalizing the traditional movie-going experience. According to the study, 87% of Gen Zers visited a movie theater at least once this year, averaging 7 visits a year, more than any other age demographic or generation. For this generation, the theater is seen as a communal social destination where they can share experiences with their friends. Also, and this will be close to Rob's heart, the report shows that 71% of Gen Zers don't ever purchase any form of physical media, such as CDs, vinyls, DVDs, or Blu-rays. Rob, there are a number of things that surprised me in this. First of all, I would have thought that the older generations would be more apt to churning on streaming than the younger. Number two, I wouldn't have guessed that this, 29 to 16-year-old demographic, this Gen Zer demographic, would be the ones leading the charge in the resurgence of the movie-going experience. And I was a little surprised to find out that as high as 71% don't ever buy any kind of form of physical media. So there's a lot to take in here with this report. Which of these things is standing out to you the most?
Well, I think that, this generation is not, I don't think they're people, they might sit around and doom scroll on their phones, but I don't think the things that they watch, I think they probably lead a very curated life. They don't plop themselves down in front of the TV and watch stuff for hours on end. They probably watch specific things like Stranger Things. That's where the popularity goes. They're those because they become cultural events. They become the kind of events that their friends can participate in. They talk about it. It becomes a thing. But they're not going to sit there and watch like 4 hours of sitcoms the way I used to do when I came home from junior high or elementary school. So I think that's part of it. And going to the movies. I mean, it is kind of having now spent this year. I've gone to double features almost every week this year. And it's been interesting to observe the culture in, especially the Regal Spectrum or going to the Harkins Mountain Grove. There is a culture, there is a youth culture of movie going that I've noticed. And it is friends. It's groups of people. They get together. Sometimes it's a lot of dates. I notice a lot of guys and girls going on dates, which is good. A lot of friends. And they're going to see the movies. I see a lot of people coming out for those first weekends. And when something like Markiplier made Iron Lung, those seats were packed. Mm-hmm. They were packed. And so it is they're very, if movie going has some kind of a, not just the movie itself, but some kind of a social media component. They're seeing stuff about it. People are turning out because I think it becomes cultural, which I think is cool because that was kind of the way it was for me when I was younger. Now, about the physical media thing, more people are buying physical media now than they've bought in the last 10 years. There's been a 20 to 25% drop in physical media sales every year.
Every year, yeah.
Now the drop is way less. So I think in 2025
it's still dropping, but it's not as much of a
9%.
Right.
And they're seeing people buy because it's the same kind of thing. People are finding things that they like. They're going back to older material. They're buying things that they can now curate in their own collections. And I think the reason anybody bought anything is because it's a representation of the self. You're buying things that you like, and when you put them on your shelf, they're a representation of you. What is it you like? What are your tastes?
Much like Hot Toys.
Much like Hot Toys, although I'm buying much less of those. But there's more of them. But I think look, it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. We're seeing the box office, if you look at the numbers this year, especially with the last month, is kind of on fire.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, this is going to be a very good year for the box
and I'll tell you
office.
something. I'm really excited to see Billie Eilish, the Hit Me Hard and Soft concert film, because, you know, they showed that, I guess, at IMAX, the headquarters, and they shot it in IMAX in high frame rate. And people are saying it's like looking out a window, because unlike film, it's like you are there because it's an event. So I love the fact that James Cameron teamed up with Billie Eilish and they co-directed her concert movie. Those kinds of things, you know, you've got a guy in his 70s doing a Billie Eilish concert film. I think that's great for the whole ecosystem, because then people are like, that James Cameron, he's not afraid to mix it up with those young people. So I think all of this is boding well for entertainment, really.
Yeah, I mean, what really gets me too is that I remember a few years ago talking about it, saying like the average film goer, the average person is going to the movies 3 to 5 times a year. This Gen Z demographic is exceeding that. Like the average one is going 7 times a year, which is phenomenal. And again, I really like the fact that the study pointed out one of the first thing they pointed out was the fact that they want the shared experiences with their friends.
Yes.
Right? You actually want to go to theater. We're going to talk about that also in just a minute. So I thought that was wild. Again, the physical media thing, it's difficult because, like you said, the slide has slowed down.
Right.
The slide has slowed down, but it's still sliding.
Yeah.
And God, it was just last week, like another Chinese Blu-ray manufacturer shut down again, or at least discontinued their Blu-ray products. That's going to be tough. But yeah, a lot of this is really interesting. And again, it really highlights that the number one enemy for streaming right now isn't even piracy. The number one enemy for streaming is churning. And they're going to do everything they can over the next while to try to get people to slow down their churning. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Apparently, Gen Zers are the ones who are churning the most, but they're also going to the movie theaters the most, and they're not buying a lot of music or visual entertainment in hard copy physical media. Whatever stands out to you guys the most, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.